Well, there it is. Hello and welcome to Armies of Azeroth, a Warcraft 3 mod inside of Starcraft 2. You'll see what I mean by this. If you go to Arcade in Starcraft 2, then type in WAA, WA, and enter that, you'll get access to WA, Turtle Rock, which is their only map that is currently available in this alpha mode that they currently have for it. So they're testing it. It's not a finished product by any means yet. And essentially, it's the Warcraft 3 universe inside of Starcraft 2. And you can play against other players. And it sets you up in a 2 versus 2 situation if you choose to play the game. Or you can create a game and play versus a bot or a friend in a 1 versus 1 potentially. However, I am just going to click play, and you're going to see what we're going to get. Most likely an ally that does nothing. I had a couple of goes on this earlier, and I had an ally that built one Mountain King and nothing else, apart from some towers in his base. And in a strange way, that was actually very reminiscent of my Warcraft 3 experiences, even to this day. Level 1 Mountain King strategy is actually a very popular strategy. It's not a good strategy, but it's a popular strategy. Let's hope that I don't have an ally that's going to employ it right now. But we'll click the play, and it's going to try to download down at the bottom left, and then it's just going to kick off eventually. It will surprise you, but when it does, boom, it will chuck you into a lobby with 3 other players, and then it will start the game. And then you will basically be given a random race, I believe. I don't remember being able to pick a race, but maybe you can, especially if you go to create game. Either way, random's fine for me because I can play all of the races anyway for Warcraft 3. Because I do actually do a little bit of Warcraft 3 on the YouTubes. I even have it on this channel, Witty 1. But on the Witty Warcraft channel, which is a more dedicated Warcraft 3 channel, then yeah, I have Warcraft 3 videos on a Warcraft 3 dedicated channel. It makes sense, I suppose. So we're entering the lobby right now. That's what she said. And here we are, waiting for 3 other players. Actually, this is the first time. So I have a choice between human and orc. That's interesting because I was wondering. I had 2 games. One is orc, one is human. But I didn't realize that you only were able to pick from human and orc. Armies of Azeroth, I believe in the grand scheme, are going to bring back Undead and Night Elf as well. They want to essentially replicate Warcraft 3 as best as possible in Starcraft 2. But for now, I will let random decide whether I get human or orc. In the game that you can play as well if you like, Piggy. You can join if you think you'll get into the same game as me. I might be able to add you in actually. See if that works. And we'll go and crush our foes. But, of course, you've got to pick the colour green. That's the most important colour to pick when playing Warcraft 3. Don't ask me why, just go with it. As you can see, the game duration is infinite, speed is up faster. It feels a little slower than Warcraft 3 though, which is interesting, but I think that's mostly because the camera is panned back a little bit more than what you would have in Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 is very zoomed in on the action, very close to the ground, which probably makes things feel faster than they are. But when you zoom out a little bit, you get more grasp of the situation. But you'll see what I mean as we get to actually play this. Unfortunately, it's taken a while. Oh, I could move him down there. See if this guy wants a 1 versus 1, maybe. I can't. Can I even chat to this guy? To the lobby? See if this guy knows how to play. If not, I will be bullying this guy. I'm not even sure. Oh, he does. But someone else has joined. But not so good. Alright, I'll carry this guy, who's a level 131 apparently. Your name remind me something. It might be Warcraft 3. Oh, I'm going to be against Piggy. A stream sniper. The stream snipe is real, and as soon as those players join in, the game starts, so you better pick your race quick. And as you can see, this is the intro loading screen. Turtle Rock is the only map they currently have. And it looks very pretty actually, that little mini-map there. Very cartoony, but that is what the Warcraft 3 mini-maps would look like if they were in the Starcraft 2 engine, which is essentially what you're looking at right now. So if you could kind of imagine if Warcraft 3 had updated graphics, this is what their mini-maps would look a bit more like. So you got your shops here and here, tavern in the middle. These yellow round circles are gold mines. Player 1, starting position. Player 2, player 3,
Righto.
player 4. Or player 3, player 4. Also, bear in mind that this doesn't have the same pattern recognizing capabilities that Warcraft 3 has, as far as I'm aware, because I played one game where I was spawned here and my ally was spawned on the opposite side of the map. So I was next to my opponent and my ally was next to his opponent. Whereas the next game, I was next to my ally. So it's going to be pure randomness as to where you are spawned, and that can be very nasty against a human player that wants to tower rush you. But I suppose if you're Orc, that's not too big a problem. Okay, looks like Orc is what we got. So we're going to build ourselves an altar, get that going. Now, one of the issues I have is because we're kind of a little bit more zoomed out, you might notice that buildings, they look a little bit different in terms of the size and scale. The burrows take what is essentially a 2 spot. Now, burrows should really take 3 spots, something like that. Although that feels a little large, but you'll get the hang of it, and certain buildings might be a little bit different to others, so we'll see how we go. Let's get a barracks. That'll do. And it works very similar, as you can see, to how Warcraft 3 works. You're going to want 5 in the gold mine. I haven't played it enough to work out whether you can exploit it and put 6 in the gold mine and get away with that, but I'm going to stick to 5, what I know, and see where we go. You've got your typical rally points, how you would use in Warcraft 3. However, the difference is you don't want to click on this to access your peon. You click P to access the peon, or select the icon. B for Blade Master, or just simply select the icon when you get it. Bear in mind this might be a little bit laggy because I'm playing on ultra settings and my computer ain't the best, but I'm going to do the best I can for you. This peon's going to go and scout. As you can see, my allies spawned on the opposite side of the map, like in one of those games that I was telling you earlier. Get my burrow now at this point because we're at 40 wood. And then a shop will be nice at some point. Barracks isn't up yet. And what do I do with the peon that's building currently? Well, like I say, you either click on the icon or press P, and then that will allow you to access the peon. You can build stuff with it, or you can right-click onto a tree. Now, one of the issues I've had with this is targeting. Targeting proves to be a little bit challenging, in my opinion. And, oh, he says, please no. You are next. Okay, but it's going to be Orc on Orc action. So, targeting units and items has proven to be a little bit challenging to me. So, you'll see what I mean as we go through the game. My town is under attack. That's my peon. So that's the symbol they've got, or rather the voice command they've got for when you're under attack. So bear in mind that if your town is under attack, it could well mean your units. This grunt's not even going to get any action, is he? It's the wrong ogre. It's the wrong ogre. It's the one closest to the base. I'll do that next time. Anyway, we're going to go back to the shop after we cleared up this ogre, because I'll get a nice item. Don't need to clear this all. Pick up the item, and that goes into your inventory. So you can see you have an inventory. And number 7 is on your right-hand side of your keyboard. So that's the numpad keys, which you access there. If you want a fast town portal back, and that means like immediate to yourself, press Q. But that's obviously a risk, so you've got to be very careful. Do not press Q on your keyboard unless you absolutely want to send your hero back. And we're going to go on a slight offensive and tech up. You've got nighttime, so it looks very glowy and beautiful to a degree, but at the same time, I honestly feel like it's quite hard to see what's going on, whereas Warcraft 3, let's pick up that cheeky item, because he didn't pick it up. Because it's so darn hard to pick up. It is gorgeous, but I think the game works very well for... Hang on a second, get the tech going. Okay, back off now. It's kind of hard to see what's going on a lot of the time. It gets a little bit crazy as the units start to plow in. You can always zoom in for a bit more action if you want. So you might want to play like here. This is what Warcraft 3 would actually look like. This is almost as zoomed in as Warcraft 3 is, about this angle. Now my ally is creeping over here with a Mountain King. You can't see any of their items. That goes for your allies or your enemies. if you click on them. So you can't see their inventory, but you can see yours. Now your units can bypass some of these creeps a bit more than they can in Warcraft 3, although that's pretty good blocking like Warcraft 3, so that's quite similar. Whereas the ones at the bottom were a bit more spaced out, so I had more luck there. So you can see this grunt is struggling to get in there. Oh yes, that also reminds me, you can't manipulate your creeps, the creeps rather, from attacking your units. So if you try to get your unit, if it's under attack, to attack your Blade Master to stop them from attacking your unit, which is a way to displace the threat that's currently on you, you can't do that because the creeps will carry on attacking. Also, I believe the items in the shop are always accessible, at least very early on. I noticed that the boots of speed were accessible before night time, the first time I played this, so I made good use of that. Healing salves work, so number 8, click on the grunt. Grunt is now benefiting from a healing salve. So you have abilities and spells in this game that work quite nicely. They're quite fluent and they stay true to the Warcraft 3 mantra, such as the abilities on the hero as well. Wind Walk and Critical Strike. Although not all spells and abilities can be perfectly replicated. The Archmage's Water Elemental does not pop out immediately. You need to give him a second to cast it. So in Warcraft 3 though, if you press W for Water Elemental, it will go immediately, which is really fantastic in a lot of ways, and it also places the Water Elemental directly in front of you, whereas it doesn't in this, it puts it to the side of you. I may as well take out more items here. I can't even pick up that item because I've grabbed so many items already, so I might just use up my healing cells here, get the access to the gauntlets, and then go to the other shop. Now, they don't have a permanent sentry ward in this, so you won't be able to benefit from that. In Warcraft 3, if you kill these creep camps, you get a nice item and the permanent sentry. The creeps might need to be placed a bit better because these grunts, as you can see, can hug these creeps much better than they can at the top side. So this is much easier to do this creep camp at the bottom than it is at the top. But little balancing tweaks here and there can be fixed. Building space is really generous, to be honest. I think the buildings might need to be a little bit bigger because Warcraft 3 has a very important aspect to it. It's quite annoying really, but in a sense it's kind of good for the gameplay or how the players react with it. And that involves, so you can sell items just like you can in Warcraft 3, so you right click on the item and put it onto the shop if you feel the need to. Pendant of Energy will be good for my second hero, Shadowhunter. Picking up the Tome of Intelligence, trying to. Allies now creeping over there. I'm going to move on to a riskier camp and do the turtles over here. Grunts are tough. I've got lots of gold, so my macro is still just as bad in this as it is in Warcraft 3. Surround these turtles. These turtles are quite nasty. They typically in Warcraft 3 always target the lowest health unit, but Starcraft 2, I don't know whether that's something they can work on or put that into it. So I'm noticing certain things that are different between this and Warcraft 3. And this you can exploit a little bit more. It's much harder to do that creep camp if you've got a lot of low health creep units on your side. So I'm going to pick up some nice items here. Group up. One of the nice things is going to group up with our Shadowhunter so we can heal up our rest of our grunts. If I want to select all of my units, I can do so easily with the Starcraft 2 engine and press F4. That grabs everything I got, so that's a good way to grab things up. One, this grabs an idle peon who's still chilling, doing a lazy scout.
Righto.
Apparently this guy's been stuck and messing around over here. Let's pull him over here. Okay, let's get some Spirit Walkers. I'm doing like the kind of standard build. Ah, that looks like an enemy player. So I might get a bunch of heals. Try to anyway. It is working. Might have a little cooldown on it. That looks like Piggy. Piggy's coming after me. He's got quite a few units actually. It feels a bit slower than Warcraft 3. He is, the gameplay anyway. I'm not sure if I'm actually strong enough to take Piggy on here, because my units are all very low health. It's harder to tell on this interface, and my Blade Master's dead. No, he's not. I'll use that item. But I can't use my hotkeys for it. Try and bring the Blade Master in. But as you can see, all my units are very low health. He has much higher health units, so I can put my peons into the burrows, but it's kind of hard for my peons to get round to the burrows. As you can see, they're struggling to get in there. Blade Master's tanking nicely there, as best as he can do under the circumstance that Piggy's just been sitting in his base camping all day, building up that army. But I need to run away, because essentially he's got much more health in his units and I don't. So I'm going to carry on running. I can't. I'm going to teleport over to my allies' base because I can't windwalk again, or at least I didn't have it accessible to me. So I have to get out of this. I'm going to try to load up my burrows. Seems a bit fickety, and I can't see how many peons are in there. Trying to run back. Oh, I got a wyvern. What do you know? Okay, we're at 40 food now, but that's because of burrows getting screwed. Allies now in with mass rifles, so he's going to have a bit more fortune versus that army than I did, with a bunch of weakened grunts after creeping. Spirit Walkers would have been good beforehand. Let's get another raider. More Spirit Walkers when the burrows allow. You can fast portal. Yes, press Q. Or press QQ. Yeah, that's the one. Alright, we really need to heal up this Blade Master. And that's all my healing cells done. My ally does have a shop though for healing as well. I don't think I can access his shop though unless he shares. And I think he's punishing Piggy right now with many rifles. I've got this replenishment. He is quite screwed. It's trickier to pick up items than it looks. They're much smaller, but they are accessible nonetheless, and my ally be not sharing, so I can't test this right now. Okay, I guess we'll go off and creep instead, or be aggressive against an opponent, because that's just boring, standing there waiting for my ally to share. We'll get a bunch more units, and move into the 60 food category. Let's see how towered up he is. Wyverns look pretty awesome in this. No towers so far from my orc friend over here. All of my super weak units, unfortunately. But what can you do? There's no shop to heal. Well, actually there is. Say it. That's a lie. And this guy's just been camping, I guess, this game. Because people are still just trying to work out what the heck is going on this game. So I'll manipulate a little bit with my very vulnerable army. Raiders do have the ensnare ability, so I can just ensnare. Hex, does that work on the Blade Master? It's got a bit of a delay. Some abilities have a little bit of a delay. They don't have that immediate punch that Warcraft 3 has, that I so enjoy. Which is really something that we should all be very grateful that Warcraft 3 has that kind of reaction and speed to it in terms of gameplay. You can share resources, much like you can in Warcraft 3. It goes up in 50 gold segments in this. And you can very specifically put it up. No, you can't actually, just 50 gold at a time. I'm not sure if you can do it any lower than that. Looks like 50 gold's your lot. You can even ask for gold, so I'm going to ask for 3,750 gold and 2,000 wood and see if he can send that to me. I don't think he's going to fulfill that request, but his base does look very shiny and expensive, so I don't see why he can't afford it. I can't see how many resources he has whilst clicking on his buildings. That's one of the things you can also see. But you do have this interface up here at the top, which is very reminiscent of Warcraft 3. Indeed, very reminiscent. You've got your low upkeep, so I'm still 60 food, so that's quite low upkeep. But it's not no upkeep, because in Warcraft 3 you have taxation, so now that I'm in low upkeep, which is above 50 food in the Frozen Throne, you're getting 7 gold from each peon that makes it to your base. 7 gold segments instead of 10 gold. And then when you go to high upkeep, which is 80 food plus, you're going to start getting 4 gold. So you really don't want to go into that unless you want to finish the game. We're at build more burrows stage, so a couple more burrows and then finish off the pig. Should he be even killable, to be honest? Oh yes, it looks like he might be quite killable. We just got to get in there. What are my units doing over here? Oh, I see. I shared control. That was my mistake. because he's freaking hotkeyed those units onto his hotkey groups. So that's why my units are moving around like a bunch of knobheads. Okay. If you play on the lower graphics settings, it doesn't particularly make it any easier, in my opinion, to spot the units and distinguish them amongst others. In Warcraft 3, maybe it's because I don't have shadows on. I do have the graphics on extreme and ultra, as you can see. So maybe they need to work on graphics. That's on creep and water. Shadows is on, but you can't really see underneath the unit, if you know what I mean. They feel like they're on the screen, but they're not planted on the ground, which is what you are used to in Warcraft 3, a lot of the cases. I think I lost my Blade Master during that, but I don't think I care that much. The abilities are just like Warcraft 3. You can basically spread your spirit link and make it much more difficult for him to focus fire any specific units, apart from that poor raider that just wants some action. But now that'd be harder for him to pick him off on the way out. Suppose I might get my Blade Master back. I could get it from the tavern now. So I'm going to send that guy down over there to the tavern. Lord Piggy really wants to drag this one out by the looks of it. So let's get some more Wyverns because they're easy mode. I can't get demolishers until I get the appropriate tech. So Warcraft 3 uses a very specific tech tree, and you need to abide by that in this as well. And you get all the tooltips, as you can see, that clearly indicate what the units do and what researches you can get. So you can see the Berserk upgrade here for the Headhunters, which turns them into Berserkers. The Burning Oil benefits the Demolishers by causing the attacks to spread fire on the ground, which does damage to over time to units. Here's the Tavern. You've got 3 heroes right now: the Pit Lord, the Fire Lord, and the Beast Master. But you don't have the Dart Ranger or the other heroes that I'm missing. See if I can get them. Dart Ranger, Tinker, Panda, Alchemist, and then you've got Pit Lord, Fire Lord, and Beastmaster. Yes, it should be 7. And there's my hero. So if you're ever desperate to get your hero back, you just do so from the tavern, and you're all good. So you got to bear in mind that this is a mod, and it's not like a Blizzard created as such. The models might... I think all the models were created by modders, but I'm not sure if some of them were Blizzard models as well that have been implemented into the Starcraft 2 engine. I can't honestly give you the absolute fact on that, but it does look very pretty, as you can see, but the units do need to feel like they're a bit more grounded. You can see the equivalents of the Sorks. If you get a good look at the tits, which is very important with Sorks, which is really annoying because the tree's in the way, they're much more rounded now, but they have the very similar models as they do in Warcraft 3. Whereas in Warcraft 3 they're basically triangular because it's 2D images or textures spread over 3D polygonal models which didn't have that many polygons to begin with in the first place. Is that red guy actually still in the game? No, it looks like the game is over, but we somehow are still able to play. So maybe I'll do a little bit more creeping just to see if any more items are still currently available in this. So we're going to go over here. Oh, this is a different... They don't have the Ogre Warlord creep in this game, apparently. But they have a Gnoll Overseer instead. He looks awesome. He looks very similar. That's really cool. And you can see just how good the Troll Berserkers look and the Ogres themselves. Very well designed, to be quite frank with you. They ooze a lot of personality, these creeps. So I love how they look. So we're going to go and creep this and see what drops, just to see if there's any other similar items that are going down. See if ethereal form works, which basically makes them immune to physical damage, but they take extra damage from spells. However, it does work, it's just a little bit harder to grasp what's going on. That's the only difference. Time of Intelligence +2. Like I say, it's a little tricky to pick stuff up. and that will benefit my hero with an extra 2 intelligence. And there's all the tooltips, as you would expect in Warcraft 3. The same sort of icons. Your buffs are going to be up here. Debuffs might have been up here. You can see how much experience you got. And Crystal Ball, that's ability to basically reveal everything in that area. So that's quite cool how it sort of like has a little circle over the unit to sort of indicate just how much is there, as well as the trees, the doodads. So there's nothing else to really explore here unless we want to see what's hidden on this island. That's right, nothing. But I feel like it's very good for a custom game. You know what I mean? Or like a custom campaign. You could do a lot with this mod and create almost a World of Warcraft style world or raid instance, or pretty much like many custom campaigns or games that have benefited from Warcraft 3. The modders there could do a lot here. It reminds me of Dota 2 in many ways. I've never been that fond of Dota 2 aesthetics for PvP or, you know, player versus player combat, but in a more environmental PvE sort of world, it feels more sort of involved and gripping and story. It feels like there's a narrative to be told with these kind of models and this aesthetic, these glowing, you know, terrain environments. But for PvP, not the greatest fan of it. It plays pretty smooth overall, and it probably played better if I had a better PC, so I can't really attest to that too much. But there you go. This is the gameplay so far of the alpha of Armies of Azeroth. Many of the characters do look very awesome, and it's been quite a lot of fun to play actually, and hopefully you guys think so too. And let me know what you think in the comments section below overall, your experience of watching this video. Is there anything that I've missed out on? Is there anything you'd like to know more about? Because I'll probably play this a few more times in the future, and I could probably answer your questions by that point in time. But for now, most things have been covered, and hopefully you enjoyed this. So take care, and I'll see you later.